being here. And I just want to say thank you for welcoming me to your conference. And I'm really inspired by this group. I found this group to be very dynamic and very forward-thinking, creative and innovative. And I'm already having ideas that I want to bring back home, both for this project and also for the North American conference. So thank you all for that. So Eco-Vrindaban is located in New Vrindavan, which is in the US, in West Virginia. So Eco-Vrindaban is the nonprofit organization that is serving the cows and the gardens for the New Vrindavan community. So you can go ahead and switch the slide. This is our mission statement. Eco-Vrindavan promotes cow protection, local agriculture, and above all, loving Krishna, as envisioned by Srila Prabhupada, ISKCON New Vrindavan's founder Acharya. Next slide, please. So this mission statement comes from a quote by Srila Prabhupada. Agriculture and protecting the cow. This is the main business of the residents of Vrindavan, and above all, simply loving Krishna. So I just pretty much explained the relationship between New Vrindavan and Eco-Vrindavan. We were founded in 1998, so this is actually our 20th year anniversary. Next slide. So this is just a little bit about our land. We have 901 acres, and then you can see the breakdown from there of forest, pasture, hay fields, and miscellaneous. New Vrindavan's pretty spread out into different locations. It's not all clumped together. So, you know, we have property here, then you drive a couple miles down the road, we have some more property, another barn, another pasture, we have cows in various locations. So we're a little spread out. Next slide. When Srila Prabhupada visited New Vrindavan in August and September of 1972, he said, "This Vrindavan, that Vrindavan, no difference." And so he's saying that there is no difference between New Vrindavan and Vrindavan, the original. It is the spiritual world. And he actually identified the different locations of Raj within New Vrindavan. I mean, you can see that when we talk about these different locations that we have in New Vrindavan, that's what we'll see on the next slides. So this is Bahulavan. Bahulavan was an early site for us. It was where the Goshala started in 1973. We renovated it just a few years ago. You can see like the old picture and the new picture top and bottom here. That's 258 acres, and we have pasture for the cows. There's forests. We also have an apple orchard and blueberries. Next slide. Nandagram is, in my opinion, I think the most beautiful of all of New Vrindavan's properties. It's a big hill. It's about 4 miles down the road from where the temple is. And it's the former site of, if you're familiar with ISKCON, the International Society for Cow Protection, that's where they used to be. And when they relocated down to Florida, we took up their property. So we have cows there as well. We have a couple houses. We have a garden there. And also this is where our ox training happens. So we don't have a huge ox program at this point. We were training a pair of oxen, and one of them had to be retired because he had problems with his hooves. So we just have one oxen that we've been training for some time, or one ox that we've been training. And actually, just a few weeks ago, we bought a new pair of ox calves, bull calves, that we're going to train as an oxen team. So please give us your blessings that we'll be successful in that endeavor. Across from the temple, we have this teaching garden, we call it. It's just a small garden, less than half an acre, and this is where we grow most of our flowers. You can see we can actually grow quite a variety of flowers, many of the same flowers that you grow here. Well, I went down to that exhibit, that fair show today, and there were some really beautiful, really impressive flower specimens that were grown locally. And close to the temple, it's easy for the pujaris. When I used to live in New Vrindavan and I'd make garlands, I'd just go out in the morning, go right to the garden, I'd pick the flowers, and then come back and make the garlands. So it's really nice to be able to do that. So this is our main garden, the community garden we call it. It's 3.5 acres. It's a pretty big area, and we grow quite a bit of various vegetables there, as you can see. Our climate is, I guess you could say, temperate. It's hot in the summer and it's cold, it's snowing in the winter. So we're not growing year round. We could probably grow until, it would be start in say like March. We can grow until maybe November, October, November, depending on the year. But even so, we have quite a variety of offerings and some flowers there as well. So this is a little bit about our dairy production and processing. We are currently milking 8 cows. We have our total herd is about low 60s, 60 to, I think it's about 62, 63, something like that. And on the top right-hand corner, that's Ananda Vidya. He's one of our cow herds. We have 2 main cow herds, a couple who are morning and night caring for the cows and doing the milking by hand. And Ananda Vidya Prabhu is processing all the dairy, and they're very committed. They want the temple to become completely self-sufficient in terms of dairy. And so there's always this tension in the community because some people want the fancy stuff, they want the fancy cheese, they want the sour cream, they want the cream cheese. So they're often working and trying to come up with new ways of processing dairy to make more variety. But they do an incredible job. Not only are they making butter, they're making ghee, he makes these big noodles of cheese, Colby cheese, and all the, once the cream is separated in order to make the butter and make the ghee, then what's left over is turned into yogurt. Yeah, that's mostly it. He's even experimented with like mozzarella cheese and other things as well, but this is their regular routine. Next slide. So we also have to grow a lot of hay. We grow 150 acres of hay each year. 100 of those acres are ours, and then we grow on 50 acres from a neighboring farmer as well. But we make a lot of hay, way more than we use. So what we don't use, some of it we store for the next year, and some of it we sell to our neighbors. Next slide. All right, so I'm just going to tell you about a few of the projects we're working on right now. So you can just click to the next, okay. So right now we're in the process of growing our herd. As I mentioned before, we have, 60 to 65 cows right now. Our goal over the next 10 years is to grow up to 100 cows and to be milking 10 to 12. So we have a schedule that's worked out. We've worked with Kalakanta Prabhu and Bhakti Charan Maharaj to develop the Ahimsa dairy equation. We've worked with, they've worked out that equation, and we're working on applying it to be able to come up with the scheduling. So we're cycling our cows, our heifers, through a 3-year breeding cycle. Okay, next click, please. Also, we're working on setting up a cow endowment fund. So this is a way for us to be able to afford or take care of the expenses of our operation long term. So we've already put some seed payments down on a fund, which will grow over time, and then the interest from that fund, once it gets to a certain size, should be able to maintain our cow protection program in the long run. Next, please. So we are also assisting from time to time other projects, both in New Vrindavan and outside of New Vrindavan. So this is just some of the projects we funded. In New Vrindavan, there's the Gopal's Garden School. We have a little school there, and we give substantial funding for that. We've also contributed substantially into the renovation of Srila Prabhupada's Palace of Gold. And later this month, we're having a big festival. Actually, it's been going on all summer since the spring. This is New Vrindavan's 50th anniversary. So we've been having ongoing celebrations for that, and the big festival will be at the end of this month. We've invited all the devotees who have ever lived in New Vrindavan over the last 50 years to come and participate, and a lot of memories and stories will be shared. So anyway, the funding for that has come substantially from Eco-Vrindaban. And then in terms of community development, we've contributed in various ways to community development, whether it's been facilitation or providing spaces for devotees to congregate in ways that we're very committed to the community itself, because that's really the core of what New Vrindavan is, and we need the devotees to be happy in order to attract other people to come. So it's important to take care of the devotees. Also, a couple of years ago, we had a Kuli Mela celebration in New Vrindavan, and we were a substantial funder for that. And then we've given to other projects as well, the ISKCON ministry for cow protection and agriculture, and then other projects in the U.S., such as Gita Nagari and ISKCON Escondido and Alachua. Next, please. So that's pretty much it. If you want to find out more about us, we have a website, we have a Facebook page, so please get in touch, please come visit us, and that's pretty much it. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to take them. Yes, Prabhu.
How do you raise your money?
Well, we have a lot of guests that come to New Vrindavan, a lot of Indian pilgrims that come to New Vrindavan. They give substantially to the cows. They actually give us a surplus of what we need to actually cover the funds for cow maintenance. But even more than that, we have money that comes from our land. Our land is very valuable because that area of the country is a hotbed of natural gas, and so that we get mineral rights from the gas that comes from our land. Yes, Prabhu.
And that development, which I'm a little bit aware of, but not the detail, that hasn't in any way, affected or impacted on the New Vrindavan project.
All the wells that have been drilled have been on places that we've selected for. We've been very actively involved, both New Vrindavan and Eco-Vrindavan, in setting up the parameters and doing environmental checks to check that the water hasn't been affected, putting the wells in out-of-the-way places so that they're not going to interrupt any of our functions. So a lot of consideration has been given to that. We have people who are pretty much expert in this now. They've done so much research into it. There's so much negotiation that goes on back and forth with these companies that are putting in the wells. So we've definitely maximized this scenario to the best of our ability.
Thank you.
Yes, shop center.
What the estimate how long the gas will last?
It's not forever. I honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm thinking in like the next 10 years range, something like that. But it's, this is why we're planning ahead, because it's money that's not going to be there forever, and so it's important that we, take this capital and invest it in the infrastructure and systems that are going to support the project in the long run. So I feel that we're making good use of this money that's coming in. We're putting it for, we're being intelligent about how we're using it so that we have these systems in place for the future. Yes, Prabhu.
How many staff you got like when you get in 65 hours that you have? How many staff, like in terms of makers or auction,
Yeah.
or childcare, doing or nursing manager?
Yeah. We have, for the cows, we have 3 full-time people. We're only milking 8 of them. And we have one Prabhu who also is doing the ox training. So there's one couple, husband and wife, who are doing the milking. And then we have another Prabhu who is doing the daily ox training. But they all are involved in cow care, and they do checks on the cows every day, make sure they're all accounted for, checks them out to make sure they don't have any injuries or that sort of thing. And then we have other volunteers, people who come for milking or maintenance. Yeah, I'd say like 3 full-time paid employees. But that's just the people who are working specifically hands-on with the cows. Yeah. Any other questions? No. Oh, you have a question, Bruce? Yes, we have a huge guest house. I mean, we can accommodate up to like more than 200 guests. We have a big guest house, and we have little cabins, and yeah, there's plenty of room, so everyone can come. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think it was very inspiring for us to see what's happening in other parts, and that was one of our intentions. In Villa Vrindavan, we got a delegate from Russia to see what's going on in Russia. It was Raja Prabhu, and it was very interesting to see what he was up to. And now we like also to have representatives from this stable forum to travel to North America and show what we've been doing for the last 11 years and all our achievements. Now, one thing which calls my attention in the New Vrindavan strategy is she mentioned endowment fund, but she didn't say how much. They already have $650,000 for the cows. Wow. That's a safety measure which is generating income for the future of the cows. And the vision is to generate a few $1 million so that by the capital alone they can maintain even if there is like some kind of crisis. So this is a direction we feel the GBC should be encouraging. In our certificate of readiness we are including that to your capacity you start building your endowment fund. And as times goes and you become more expert in doing some fundraising, whatever, you have a security. Yes?
Another recommendation from the GBC is that when we purchase land, we should make sure it has gas reserves on it.
Right, okay, so there you go. All right, very good. So, well, that's it for today. I'm hearing from the background that the day was long and the rest was not so long. We should have bigger space. And that is true. In the past years, we have had 2 hours breaks and we had 1.5. It's a little short. We apologize for that. There were too many requests for presentation. We even turned down one from the UK who really wanted to come and there was no more space, and he could come as a participant. So, thank you very much. That's it for today. We have dinner coming up in